Good day, beautiful children of China. Hello, it's your teacher, Timothy. Get the cobwebs out of your mind. It's time to learn something new. Just me and you. So, we're going to talk today about grammar, some names for kinds of words, and we're going to go through this sheet together. I'm going to make my picture smaller so that we can go through this sheet together. It's about writing. Writing is ever so important, and we're going to go through this here. So here we go. Write. Write your first draft. That would be the first thing that you write. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's getting your ideas down on paper. When you write your first draft, you put your ideas into sentences. Your first draft is your first try at writing about a topic. Here is what Emma's the name of the woman or the girl. Here is what Emma does to write her first draft. And it says right here, to begin, Emma begins with a sentence that introduces her topic. That's how she begins her writing. Emma begins with a sentence that introduces her topic. It just starts to talk about it. And then the next part is she chooses to choose. She chooses words from her sensory chart. Do you remember the sensory chart? It's when we talk about what does something smell like? What does something taste like? What does something look like? What does something sound like? What does something feel like? Using the senses of our body. So she chooses some words from the sensory chart, and then she writes. She uses those words to write sentences about her topic. So that's how Emma does it, and that's how we're going to work on doing it today. Oh, you can see Emma's sensory chart. Do you see the eye right here? Brown. It says, I will describe waffles. She's going to write about waffles. Brown with square holes, strawberries on top, crunchy, toasty. It smells toasty. It sounds crunchy in her ear. And it is yummy, delicious, and juicy. It's so strange they say juicy. Now, we've done some of this before. Let me just see here if I don't think we've done this much. Some of this is the same, but some of it's different. So let's keep going. A descriptive paragraph that Emma's first draft. Here it is. Let's read it together. Will you help me read it? Waffles are for breakfast. They are brown with square holes. Strawberries sit on top. They make a crunchy sound. Waffles are delicious. Now there's her first draft. And in a first draft, there might be some mistakes, but that's fine because it's not done yet. Do you see any mistakes in this first draft that Emma did? Why don't you stop now and just take a look at it and then start the video again? Did you find any mistakes? Well, I think we'll find out later. Write your first draft. Begin with a sentence that introduces your topic. Choose words from your sensory chart. Write more sentences about your topic. So, this is something for you. You can stop the video right now and do what Emma did. Choose a topic, and then write your introduction, your first sentence, and then go through a sensory chart. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? And then write some sentences about more sentences about your subject. Then revise, change your writing. This is after the first time. This is the first draft, and you go past the first draft and you change your writing. When you revise, here's this word, revise. Let's see what they say that word means. When you revise, you make changes in your writing. You try to make a clearer picture for the reader. Let's see what Emma does. Here's what Emma does to make her writing better. Read. Emma reads her first draft to her partner. So she reads it to her partner. And then they talk about the use of sensory details. The sensory details, again, remember, what does it smell like? What does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Her partner asks her questions. Then they change it, and Emma makes changes. She adds more details to make a clearer picture. So I'd like you to do that now, because you stopped it earlier and you wrote your first draft. Now I would like you to do what Emma did. Read your first draft to a partner, and then talk about it and talk about the sensory details. And then make some changes. I'll show you how Emma made her changes. Let's talk about that first, and then you should do this. Here's I don't even know this word, carré, if it was French, or carrot, but not a carrot like you eat. It's this mark right here. It shows where you can add details. See how she makes the carrot right there? Carrot, carré, I don't know how to say it. So let's see what she says. Instead of saying, in the first draft, it said waffles are for breakfast. She says waffles are yummy for breakfast. Oh, there's a nice word. How does it taste? They taste yummy. So she added that. They are brown with square holes. She didn't add anything there, but she added something here. Juicy strawberries sit on top. Oh, that was a sensory word. And here's a sensory thing, the smell. It smells toasty. She wrote, waffles smell toasty. They make a crunchy sound. Waffles are delicious. So you can see she made this little mark and then she added those things. So I'd like you to do that. Read yours to a partner, and then think about the sensory words with your partner, and then add a few words to your first draft. Go ahead, do that now. Great. I wish I could see what you're working on. I wish I could see what topic you. So here we are, revise. We talked about revising. Change your writing to make it better. Read your first draft to a partner. This is what you just did. Now edit. Edit. Here's a little word that says edit. Check your writing. When you edit, you check your writing for conventions, you know, the rules. You check for capital letters. That's one of the conventions. You check for the end marks, the period or the question mark or the exclamation mark. And then you check for spelling to see if things are spelled right. Here's what Emma does to check her writing. Emma reads her sentences. Then she checks for capital letters. She checks for end marks and for spelling. And then she marks the changes that she needs to make. So she did that. Let's see what she did. Oh, she didn't spell strawberries right. We see that. She also found that there was an end mark right here that she missed. So she figured out how to spell strawberries correctly. Those were the two things. So now I want you to do the same. Check your writing. Use the checklist right here. See this checklist? Check for capital letters. Check for the end marks. And check your spelling. Would you do that, please? Stop the video right now and do that. Good. You are making your own paragraph of writing. So now we're going to talk about certain kinds of words in grammar. Grammar is a word, you know, for when we're learning English. It's the technical side of naming words. So we're going to talk about adjectives. An adjective is a word that tells something about a noun. What's a noun? A person, a place, or a thing. So an adjective tells us something about the noun. So down here, the noun is here, a hippo, a hippopotamus, that is, but we can say hippo for short. A hippo, that's the noun. A huge hippo, oh, it tells us something about the hippo, that it's huge. A huge hippo lives in the zoo. I see. Good. And then the next one, adjectives can also say how many. 3 hippos. So an adjective can be how many? 3. There's another adjective. Grammar practice. Find the adjective that tells what kind and how many for each underlined noun. Here is the noun, here is the noun, and here is the noun. Find the adjectives, okay? And you can turn it, the video, pause the video now, and then we'll come back and answer those. Okay, let's answer those. Blue jays are about 10 inches long. What's the adjective that tells more about inches? This tells how many. So if you said 10, you were right. Number 2, they use sharp beaks to open seeds. The word beaks, and which is the adjective that tells what kind of beaks? This one, sharp beaks. So that's an adjective. And then number 3, some jays live in shady woods. We're looking at the noun woods. And what is the adjective? Shady. In the shady woods. So if you did those, good job. Good job. Using adjectives to compare. Some adjectives are used to compare. Comparing means this or this. If an adjective compares 2 people, places, or things, add er. Jinnah is taller than Louisa. Jinnah is taller than Louisa. So the word tall, and they added er, and that's an adjective then. They added er. You could call her tall Louisa, but we'll say taller. Jinnah is taller. So it's tall. Jinnah is taller than Louisa. That's an adjective because I added an er right there, a little er, right? If an adjective compares 3 or more people, places, or things, add est if there are more than 3. So let's see what that's like. Dario is the tallest boy in my class. The tallest. If it's just 2, you say taller. If there are more, like in a whole class, the tallest. EST. Grammar practice. Choose the right adjective for each sentence. Here's an example. The baby bear, or just baby bear, was the littler or the littlest bear. It depends how many bear, right? Number 2, you can choose one of these. There are 3 here, so why don't you pause this and then you answer all these. Try to choose the best adjective, and then we'll go through these right now. Okay, so you're done. Let's read number 1. His bowl was smaller, smallest than Mama's. Well, his bowl was smaller than Mama's because it's comparing 2, his and Mama. Those 2 bowls, his is smaller. Papa has the bigger chair. Papa has the biggest chair. Well, there are 3 or more chairs. There's the babies, the mothers, and the fathers, and maybe some more. So Papa has the biggest chair because there are 3 or more. And then number 3, Papa also had the longest bed or the longer bed. Well, because there are probably 3 beds, he has the longest bed. Adjectives. An adjective is a word that tells something about a noun. We know that. So let's look at this. Kiki is my silly cat. So the cat is the noun, and silly tells us something about that cat, a silly cat. Silly tells what kind of cat. She has 3 spots. 3 tells how many spots. Remember, it answers how many. An adjective can compare 2 people, places, or things. Socks, that must be the name of one cat. Socks is faster than Kiki. Faster. That's an adjective. An adjective can compare more than 2 people, places, or things. Socks is the fastest cat I know. Out of all the cats, Socks is the fastest. So now we're going to talk about verbs. Verbs are doing words. They are action words. It means something is happening. Let's see what they say about verbs. A verb is a word that shows action or helps complete a thought. An action verb tells what is happening. Turtles crawl. See, that's the part that is doing something. The turtle is doing something. What is it doing? It's crawling. Turtles crawl. The snake slithers. Those are verbs. Grammar practice. Choose an action verb from the box to finish each sentence. So you see how this works? Here's an action word. These are verbs up here. And you want to figure out which one of these goes best in these boxes. There are 4 here. Okay, so you can stop it right now, pause it, and do those. And then we'll answer those questions. All right, we are back. Let's answer these questions. The example, the birds blank in the sky. Do birds spin? Do they hoot? Do they swim? No, they fly, don't they? So fly goes right there. Did you get that one? Number 1, fish blank in the water. Do fish spin in the water? Sometimes. But fish swim in the water? Yes, swim. Number 2, the owl blank at night. The owl hoots. That's the verb, hoots. Woo, 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 woo. Spiders spin webs. That's where they go. Okay, that was fun. Those verbs, they tell what is happening. They tell something that is going on. Using action verbs. An action verb tells what the naming part of the sentence does. It tells what it does. The seal barks. Bears hunt. So it tells what the noun does. The seal barks. Bears hunt. Name the action verb in each sentence. So I want you to go down through these sentences and the example and circle the action verb. And then I'll show you what the answers are, okay? Okay, let's see. In the example, Ren makes a picture. The action verb is this, she makes it. Ren studies the forest. What does she do to the forest? She studies it. These are the action verbs. She draws many trees. Well, here's something that shows what she did. The colors, she colors the leaves red and yellow. So here's what she does with crayons. She colors them. Ren gives her picture to a friend. She gives it. That's the action. Her friend says, thank you. Her friend, what does her friend do? Her friend says. So they're the action verbs in this one. Did you get them right? Verbs. A verb is a word that shows action or helps complete a thought. Action verb, the squirrel jumps from tree to tree. Here are some action verbs. Right here, a list. Ask, fix, help, hug, go, jump, play, race, read. Linking verbs. The squirrel is a great jumper. Some other linking verbs. Am, is, our, was, were, be, been. Present tense action verbs. The present tense verb shows what is happening right now. What's happening right now? I'm talking. Present tense verb, Fido, that's the name of a dog. Fido barks at the squirrel. The children chase Fido. Those are present tense action verbs. Grammar practice. Read each sentence. Choose the action verb that tells what is happening right now. Okay? So here, they give you 2 chances. You want to decide a spider drops down, a spider dropped down. Which one is now, right? I'll give you a hint on this example. A spider drops down, that's right now. If a spider dropped down, that means it happened yesterday or sometime this morning. So go ahead and pause the recording and look at these 4 sentences, and then it will come back and we'll answer them. Okay, let's look at number 1. It lands on my friend. It landed on my friend. Which one is happening right now? You're right. If it's an ED at the end, it means that it happened before. It's not happening right now. So it lands on my friend. I hope he yells, oh! He yelled, oh! So this is not now, that's past tense. This is now, yells. He yells, oh. He hops around. He hopped around. Well, hopped would mean not now, but before. So here, he hops around. And number 4, finally, I brush it off. Finally, I brushed it off. This would have been before. It's not now. Here is present tense. So, did you get those right? Past tense action verbs. That means that they happened not now, but they happened in the past. A past tense verb tells what has already happened. Most past tense verbs end with ED. We were just talking about this. Most of them end with an E and a D. Okay? So let's take a look. Fido barked at a squirrel. The children chased Fido. That means it happened in the past. Read each sentence and choose the action verb that tells what has already happened. Past tense. So let's look at the example together, and then you can do these 4. A chipmunk chatters. A chipmunk chattered. Which one is happening now, and which one is a past tense action verb? That's what we're looking for. You're right. If it has an ED at the end, it's past tense, chattered. So now go ahead and do these. Pause this and then do those, and we'll answer those. Okay. Number 1, the chipmunk races by me. The chipmunk raced by me. There's that past tense because it has that ED, doesn't it? It picks up some seeds. It picked up some seeds. Past tense, action verb, right there, picked. Number 3, the chipmunk fills its cheeks. The chipmunk filled its cheeks. It filled them. It has that ED at the end. Number 4, it stores the seeds in its burrow. It stored the seeds in its burrow. Past tense, maybe it did it yesterday or last year. It stored the seeds. So there you have it. Those were the 4 answers. I hope you got those right. Present tense linking verbs. Linking verbs help complete a thought. The linking verb am, is, and are present tense. Am and is are singular. Are is plural. Present tense linking verb. I am 7 years old. Sarah is my sister. Jim and Seth are friends. Name the linking verb in each sentence. I am a first grader. Well, we would guess is for the example right here. Linking verb. Now you go ahead, pause this, and do those other 3. Okay, let's do them. Number 1, ice is hard and cold. Yep, I bet you answered that. Number 2, pillows and feathers are soft. Number 3, I am a good singer. I am a good singer. There they are, the 3 linking verbs. So I hope that you got those right. Past tense linking verbs. The linking verb was and were are past tense. Was is singular and were is plural. My brother was excited. My parents were surprised. Now, do you see there's just one brother? So he was excited. My parents, there are two parents. My parents were surprised. Grammar practice. This is the last thing now. Choose the correct linking verb. Now it's going to give us two options and you choose the correct one. Let's do the example together and then you should do the other four and then we'll come back and correct them. The example, I was hungry. I were hungry. It was singular. One person, I, and so it's was. Okay? So go ahead and do number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Start now. Okay, let's see how we did. Krista and Jan, there are two of them, right? So was is for 1, were is for 2. Krista and Jan were friends. Good. Number 2, my puppy, there's only one puppy. My puppy was sick yesterday. My puppy were sick yesterday. It was, because there's just one. Clouds, there's more than one cloud. If it says clouds, the clouds were dark and gray because there is more than one. The sky was full of lightning. The sky were full of lightning. There's only one sky and it was full of lightning. So let's put that in. There we have it. Is that what you did too? Wow, we learned a lot today. We learned a lot about verbs and adjectives, past tense, present tense, and also about writing. It did a nice recap on writing and sensory, asking sensory questions. I love that. Okay, so let me just say goodbye. We'll go way to the top. And I'll just say goodbye, my friends. This is Timothy signing off. Thank you for a good lesson. Now I'm happier, you're smarter, and the whole world is a little smaller.